Hello, viewers. Welcome to another episode on the Little Fella Sports Podcast. So today we have Shreyas with us on the show to discuss about the India-England ODI series, which will be starting from next week. So before we get started with the show, please do like, share, and subscribe to our content. We have lots of videos lined up in regards to the Indian Premier League, and we have a lot of analysts who will be joining us to preview the different squads of the teams in the Indian Premier League, and then we'll be doing a full season preview as well. So please do stay tuned and like, share, and subscribe to our content. So this particular India England ODI series does not carry a lot of importance. It's just for academic interest. There are going to be three ODIs in this series, and we've just got the information on the India squad a couple of days back, and Prasidh Krishna and Krunal Pandya have earned their India one-day call-ups. So kudos to them. Apart from that, it's a pretty standard team. No big changes. Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma continue to be a part of the team. There were speculations that probably one of the two could be rested for the ODI series, but both of them are playing. And the same goes for Jasprit Bumrah. Jasprit Bumrah is still on his vacation for his marriage, so he's not a part of the ODI series. Whereas Hardik Pandya has come back into the side. I think we'll probably see him bowl 6 to 7 overs every game in this three-match ODI series. Rishabh Pant is also back. So there are some questions as to how the Indian middle order would shape up now that Pant is in scintillating form and Hardik Pandya is able to contribute with the bat and ball. On England's side, the squad has not yet been announced, but given that there is a strict bio bubble that's being followed for this tournament, it is safe to say that the squad will consist of the players who are remaining in this T20 series. Maybe a couple of them could go back, ones who don't have IPL duties, but predominantly we believe it could be the same squad. So Shreya, starting off with you, all the three ODIs are going to be played in Pune. Traditionally, high-scoring matches when it comes to one days in Pune. Uh, what are your thoughts on this series, and what are your initial expectations out of it?
Yeah, thanks for having me first of all. The inclusion of Virat Kohli, both Virat Kohli and Rohit Sharma came as a surprise for me because I thought one of them could be rested as you told. But since England is also going to field their first 11 by the looks of it, I think India are also matching to their strengths and retaining all the main players and even Pant and Pandya, they've been with the India squad for so long and they're still part of the one-day team. So this is quite a surprise for me. So the thing is, with regards to Pune pitch, I mean, yeah, as you told, it's quite high scoring and it's actually good to see. It's good if it remains such a pitch because we don't want to see drab ones ahead of the IPL and the World T20. Although the format it could be different, but I think India and England both will try to play aggressive cricket and prepare themselves for the shorter form of the game.
Yeah, definitely. There are actually minimal incentives for both teams. But as you pointed out, for England, it's the experience of playing in Indian conditions. Remember, they have to play a T20 World Cup here, and then they have to play the 50-over World Cup here as well. So England will value every ounce of cricket that they get in India, and we can clearly see that the English Cricket Board has actually prioritized the IPL over their home series against New Zealand. So we have gotten confirmation that ECB will allow the players who are involved in the IPL to stay back. So that is interesting. The approach from ECB looks promising. They want to get as much cricket for their senior players in India as possible. So yeah, so apart from that, for India, the biggest news for this ODI series is, regardless of the players who've come in fresh, it's Rishabh Pant. Yeah, just like all of us expected, he's now made a full comeback into squads of all formats. So Rishabh Pant maybe might play at five, given that there could be someone else opening up top along with Rohit. If we decide to open with Rohit and Dhawan, then maybe KL Rahul could play at four, and maybe Rishabh Pant could play at five, or they could interchange depending upon the match situation. So, how do you think you would want Rishabh Pant to approach this ODI series?
Look, I mean, this might be contrary to popular opinion, but I think he needs to cement his spot first of all. That's how we have clearly seen that's how Indian team selection works, right? So once you get to cement your spot, then you will be given the leeway to actually play your own game and try to fail in a couple of games. I mean, not try to fail, of course, but even if you fail in a couple of games, you will be given the what do you call the cushion to. I mean, they'll persist with you. So that's the actual point. What I'm trying to make. So I think he really needs to start that this three ODI games because that's quite essential for his career too and for India too. See, once he cements his place, there are chances that he won't be dropped for quite a long time. See, we've seen KL Rahul fail for 4 or 5 games also. He's not being dropped because he actually I mean, it looks a bit dodgy when you change your approach and when you are not trying to be yourself, but you can be smart and for his own benefit, I think he should try to play some long innings and cement his spot in the ODI lineup first of all. Because for the 2023 World Cup, it is actually good for both India and Rishabh Pant to actually have a settled wicket keeper at number 5. I think number 5 is the place where he should play. So, what do you think? Do you want to change the position? Do you want to play him as a finisher, or do you think he'll be fine at 5?
I guess India will probably use Rishabh Pant according to the match situation. I mean, let's say we are 200 for 2 or 200 for 1 or 200 for 2 after about 30-31 overs. At that point, you want someone to provide the impetus because from there, if we go by the ODI doubling rule, we must actually put ourselves to reach 350, 360 easily. So in that scenario, probably promoting Rishabh Pant up the order and taking down the last few overs of the opposition spinners might be a good option. And we've seen that India always prefer this left-right combination, especially in the middle overs. If we have that left-right combination, I think we'll be able to sustain. One thing I've seen with Rishabh Pant is, at least over the last 6 months, ever since the IPL started ever since the IPL season happened in 2020, I think he's improved his strike rotation capabilities. I'm seeing that he's actually finding it easy to rotate off spinners, and that is something that India has actually lacked in the middle overs. We've played a lot of dot balls. Strike rotation has been a major problem, and there's been a big complaint from the people outside that we're actually leaving 40 to 60 runs on the field just because we're soaking up dot balls. So I think that approach has to change. And if we just
And one more
Virat Kohli is
point,
one, yeah.
yeah. So I think this series will serve as a real test for Indian middle order. We've seen Hardik Pandya and Jadeja perform in the ODI series in Australia too. I think this also it will be really good if Archer and Mark would both play in the ODI 11 because they they pose a real threat to both Rohit Sharma, KL Rahul, and even for Virat Kohli at times. So if they remove the top order quickly, that will be a real test for Indian middle order, and it's great if we resolve that weakness now itself rather than waiting for long. I don't want them to fail, but that's how it works, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because England, as far as their bowling attack goes, they will bring in a lot of variety. So even during the middle overs, they'll make sure that they have a couple of overs that they can bank on from their senior attack bowlers. So in that sense, India probably have to play the middle overs very smartly, and no better opposition in the world currently to experiment that but England. So India do have some questions that the middle order have to answer, but for now, let's just go to the squads. We'll start off with the India squad, which was announced a couple of days back. So this is the India squad, and you can see that two people have been called afresh. One being Krunal Pandya, and the other being Prasidh Krishna. So this Prasidh Krishna inclusion was talked about for almost a week. Congratulations to Prasidh Krishna, and Krunal Pandya for their ODI call-ups. Yeah, but apart from that, pretty straightforward squad. I think nothing that stands out. So if you had to pick a first 11 for that first ODI starting next, I think Tuesday or Wednesday, I'm not sure, but for that game, if you had to pick 11 out of this, what would it be?
So yeah, this have been maintaining for so long. It's clear that Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan will open at the 2023 World Cup. It's too far ahead, but still, I still think that both of them will open. Shikhar Dhawan has also been in a good touch for some time. He's done well in the Vijay Hazare, and he was okay against in the IPL too. So Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan will open, and Kohli will bat at 3, KL Rahul at 4, and it depends who will play at 5. I want Rishabh Pant to play at 5 because there are, as you told, India they'd like to maintain the left-right combination. So I don't want to be, I mean, I don't want a long gap of between Dhawan and the next left-hander. So I'll probably play Rishabh Pant at 5 and Hardik Pandya bats at 6. And since the number 7 spot is now vacant, they might have to decide between Krunal Pandya and three of them fight for one spot, right? I mean, Shreyas Iyer, Surya Kumar, and Krunal Pandya. The three of them fight for the number 7 spot, and I always believe in the fact that we need to go with at least 6 bowlers in a limited overs game. So I probably play have Krunal Pandya at 7, and the bowling lineup. Shardul Thakur, he makes the cut. He bowled really well against Australia too, and in this T20 series also he has been all right. So Shardul Thakur at 8, and Natarajan comes in. I'd be tempted to play both Kuldeep and Chahal here, since they've been a successful combo for India for the past 4 years or so, right? So I'll probably play both Kuldeep and Chahal. I mean Kuldeep and Chahal at 10 and 11. So that is my lineup: 3 paces and 3 spinners.
So for the moment, you don't want to risk Bhuvneshwar Kumar in the ODI format, given that he's also coming off
Uh,
that long injury playoff.
yeah, we might have to take a decision between Bhuvi and Shardul here. I think Natarajan has to play. He needs some game time. He hasn't played since the Brisbane test, so I want Natarajan to start. The other, I'd personally go with Shardul, man. He's been good, and he's not that injury prone too. That's good.
Yeah, so just the only change that I have from your preferred 11 is I would not probably play Kuldeep and Chahal together, because we already have Krunal Pandya. If you're going to play Krunal Pandya at 7, then you've got your 2 spinners. So question is, will the Pune pitch be that dry for India to forcefully play a third spinner? I'm not sure. So maybe depending on the conditions, if the pitch is slightly lively, we might see Mohammad Siraj playing, because under lights, if Siraj can get the ball to move into the English batsman, then it could be really troublesome, especially those first 10 overs. Yeah, I don't want Bhuvneshwar Kumar to be rushed. I think it is really important that we nurture his return back to the Indian side properly. So I'd probably play Mohammad Siraj instead of Kuldeep Yadav. But yeah, apart from that, I, I don't see much of a change. Then if Prasidh Krishna was brought in because of some heavy backing from Kohli, then we might actually see Prasidh Krishna make his debut in the first game. But yeah, we'll have to wait and watch.
Yeah, so this is the starting lineup as well. Of course, we might have to make some rotation over the 3 games, but I'd personally like to play 3 spinners whenever we play in India. I mean, that's been the formula for our success. So even when Kuldeep and Sahal were playing together, they used Kedar Jadhav for 5 overs or so. So I think this will be fine.
Yeah, moving on, we'll probably just look at the England squad. So this is the England squad that's coming here for the T20s, and this could be the squad that could stay back for the ODIs as well. So if you had to pick a first 11, what would it be?
Yeah, the batting lineup, I think it's settled, right? I mean, Roy and Bairstow will open, and who's a 3? Yeah, yeah, that might be a question here. So does Root come back, or who plays at 3? I think Malan will continue at 3, right? If Root
Yeah,
doesn't come back.
Malan might continue at 3. Could be Malan or you could even play Buttler at 3. Not a bad option. In one days,
Yeah,
maybe you can try an attacking option and probably promote Buttler to 3. Buttler or Stokes.
yeah. So David Malan at 3, and at number 4, you have Stokes and Stokes Buttler at
More
5. So yeah, Morgan at 6, and I mean, who do you play at 4? Do you play Morgan at 4, or do you play him in 6? I
Yeah,
personally
you
push
probably
Stokes.
play Morgan. Yeah, maybe you can push Stokes if the situation demands it.
Yeah,
At 200 for 200 for 2 or maybe 250 for 2, you probably want to push Stokes. You want to keep Morgan back. And if there's a crisis, if you are 2 down early, then you probably push Morgan in to rotate strike and uh, play out the bowling.
fair enough. So that will be my top 6, and I think they'll finally play Moeen Ali at 7. What do you think? He's not been getting chances, right? So it's actually I was quite surprised they went only with Adil Rashid as a lone spinner in the T20 series too. I think they
Uh,
should have Moeen Ali.
Moeen Ali again is competing for places with Sam Curran because in Pune,
Yeah,
if the ball swings, I think Sam Curran could become the next David Willey. So yeah, that is how they're looking at Sam Curran. They want to nurture him into being the next David Willey, someone who can bowl inside the power play, maybe give them 7 to 8 overs on his day. He can probably bowl all 10, and then come at the back and swing. So yeah, I think they'll still continue with the support for Sam Curran. He might play the first game depending on how the pitch is. Because remember, three games have to be played in double quick time in Pune. So I'm pretty sure that the first wicket will be slightly spicy because that's the way you can maintain the wickets for the three quick games that you have to play in Pune. So if that's the case, then Sam Curran will probably slot in at that number 7 spot. And I think Jofra Archer and Mark Wood will probably rotate because you've got three
yeah.
games. Depending on the situation, only one of them could play. So you probably slot them at number 8 as the either or pair. I think Adil Rashid will slot in at 9. And the question is at 10 and 11, do you just play Chris Jordan and Tom Curran and probably ask them to bowl one of the like at the moment, if you look at it, I think Chris Jordan and maybe uh, Chris Jordan, of
I think
course, at the moment he's
Reece Topley might start. I think, yeah. He's been there for long, right? He can bowl fast, so uh, maybe they can rotate between the three of them, Archer, Wood, and Reece Topley. Yeah, if Ollie Stone is there in the bubble, he obviously gets in, but I think they might have to go with Reece Topley here rather than
yeah,
playing again another. Tom Curran is just a slower ball merchant again, right? So I don't fancy him playing for England in any format of the game.
yeah. If that's the case, then this definitely looks like a strong English batting lineup. The top six is really settled. I think we've got no spots for no spots for competition except that once Joe Root is back, maybe you've got to decide on David Malan. But yes, David Malan might continue to play because Joe Root is unavailable and he's not part of the bubble as of now. And the bowling looks pretty settled as well. Um,
I
at
think
best,
I
yeah,
think
as you
Sam
said,
Billings might play. So he played well in the ODI series versus Australia just post the lockdown, right? So I think he might get a go too because he can, yeah, as we've discussed previously, he can play both the anchor role and the aggressor role too. He fits in nicely at number 5 or number 6 there.
yeah,
So
if that's the case, then I think the guy he will be rotated with will be David Malan. So depending on how
yeah,
the pitch is and depending on which slot really requires a filling, I think we'll probably decide on either David Malan or Sam Billings. Yeah, but apart from that, pretty settled lineup. So if you had to pick a couple of X Factor players, one for England and one for India, who would they be?
yeah, I think. Both KL Rahul and Rohit Sharma for India, they need to fire. They need to fire before the IPL or the following tournament. So I think both of them they will be my X Factor players. We've seen glimpses of Kohli magic in the the T20 series too. So it will be nice if we see the rest of the two, uh, also the rest of the three also fire. So yeah, both Kohli and KL and Rohit will be my X factors. And as far as England is concerned, it has to be Johnny Bairstow. I think he needs to uh, recreate the form that he had in the IPL and in the World Cup. So those are my X factor players. What about you, Krishna?
Yeah, I'd probably pick. Mm, I'd probably pick Josh Butler as the X factor because if we put up a good total and if England are chasing with no Jasprit Bumrah, then Josh Butler has to contribute down the order, and he's actually proven his capabilities when it comes to chasing. So I think Josh Butler could be an X factor player for England, given the fact that if there are batting paradises on in Pune, then if we bat first and get 330, 340, and with the dew, it will only become easy for England to chase, and we don't have Jasprit Bumrah to defend the runs. So in that case, I think Butler's involvement in the game becomes even more emphasized. And for India, I think Hardik Pandya could be the X factor because there's no Jadeja, and if he's going to play at six, then you're probably asking him to bowl 6 to 7 overs, and he has to give the finishing touches with the bat. And given that there's no Jadeja behind him, and we could actually play a slimmer batting order behind him, I think Hardik Pandya has to shepherd that lower middle order and get us to competitive totals in all three games. So those are my two expected players. Prediction for this series, I think it's going to be a closely contested one, and maybe pip India to win it, but it'll only be a 2-1. We'll probably have one enthralling chase from India, and we'll probably have a it's a good match where we probably defend a high score. What is your prediction for this series?
Yeah, given the recent failures for India with respect to ODI team, I go with 2-1 for England. And with Jadeja not there too, I think it will be in favor of England.
Yeah, definitely. India are lacking a couple of their first 11 players, and definitely England, with almost their entire first 11 here, it's probably going to be difficult. But yeah, let's see. It'll be a high octane series, just like how an India England series has been for the past 3 to 4 years. India England white ball rivalry has definitely grown, and this will just be another important series for both teams. So thank you to Shreyas for taking time out and being a part of the podcast today. So stay tuned. We've got lots of content coming up for the Indian Premier League. So until then, please do like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll be back with another video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.